Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Taurus. If Taurus is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, Taurus, we have the 10 of Cups, which has everything to do with, well, happiness, right? What's the actual card? Oh, it's the one that I can't pronounce. Never mind. I'm not going to say it because you all always correct me. But it is. It's a sense of fulfillment of all things coming together, right? Okay, and let's take a look. All right, so we have the number 93. Look at that. It's so large. 9-3. Okay, it could also be, what, 36? But the 3 would be, yeah. Or E6, really. But yes, we have 93. I'm going to go with 93. 93s all around to all my Thelemite friends. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Okay. So we have this like really interesting looking character over here. You can see kind of the head up here. Almost looks like having wings, almost reminds me of the Valkyrie or maybe even like Hermes. A helmet with wings on the side, okay? We also have here the arms and the body. Here is the legs, and almost kind of in Kali fashion, standing upon somebody. Maybe it's their consort. It could be Shiva, right? Maybe not. I don't know. But standing on top of somebody, right? So we have this warrior, this beautiful, victorious warrior, fierce and unyielding, standing on their win, basically, their victory. And so I'm wondering what's going on in your life that you are feeling like everything is kind of, well, coming together. It's all happening, right? You remember that movie? What was that movie called? I don't even know. It was about the kid that was like a writer. He went behind the scenes of like the rock star life in the 70s. What the heck was that movie called? I used to love that movie when I was a kid. But anyways, I was a teenager. I wasn't a little kid. I'm pretty old. Almost Famous. I think that's what it was called. Almost Famous. And yeah, the lady in it, she says, it's all happening. It's all happening. It's all happening. Right? And that's the vibe. It's all happening right now. And you can feel it. It is something that didn't just fall in your lap either. It's not like you just lucked out and you got this huge inheritance or you're born into a very lush situation, although you may have been. And if that's the case, then I hope it was good, or I hope it is good. But for the rest of us, right, you've worked hard. You have worked yourself to the bone at times. You've had to be fierce. Sometimes you've had to abandon all of your softness, or at least put it somewhere where they can't see. And you've gone out there and you've made a life for yourself. You have carved out your own path. And here you are, victorious. And so I'm kind of nosy. I want to know what happened. The 9 up here, also it looks like a large fish. So I feel like you are making money, okay? I kind of feel like you're making more money than you've ever made. And it's surprising, but it's also not, because you know how hard you've worked to get here. And so I think that you're finally in a place where maybe there's more stability and a sense of like a safety net than you've ever known. And maybe there's a little bit of not knowing how to navigate that. This is somewhat new to you. Or maybe you feel like you're, what is that called? Imposter syndrome, right? You're living in a life that maybe you don't necessarily feel like this is, not that it's not for you, but you're not qualified for it, or you don't deserve it. Or I've worked hard and I know I deserve all this, but now that I'm here, what does it mean? Because I'm still the same person I used to be, but now I have all of these resources available to me. And I think that that has been something that maybe you also, maybe there's a little bit of shame or embarrassment, or maybe it is that you don't know how to talk to people about your life, because maybe the family you come from they're not, making the money that you're making. They're not achieving like you are achieving. And you are aware enough to feel like, well, I don't want to go gloating about this. I don't want to be that person. But it also feels like it could be hard for you, because you're kind of alienated, maybe a little bit isolated, because you don't really have anybody to talk to about this. Aside from, whoever is kind of involved, maybe your coworkers or your spouse or, your direct family members. And I feel like that's where there's a little bit of a schism there. That's where some of this anxiety kind of resides. Because I feel like although it's, these are your people and they accept you and they love you no differently than they ever have. But I almost feel like you yourself are perceiving there to be like such a change that you don't know how to navigate that. And you might, and to some degree, be kind of the one separating yourself a little bit. But that's not to say it's your fault. Now, I also see up here it says I-L-O-V-E, right? Love. And then over here, it says you, Y-O-U. So we have I love you. Okay, we also have 41. The number 41. Oh, we have a person next to a well. And I'm going to look at this as like a wishing well. Casting their little coin down the well. Making a wish. And when I see things like this, if it's the wishbone, the wishing well, or like those little dandelion seed pod things, this to me says that your wishes will be granted. And, right, this is a good time to be manifesting. It's a good time to be thinking about, what do you want the future to look like? What do you want to change? And putting that into action, right? Like the dominoes, right? They're all set up. You got to push the first one to make sure, right? They're all going to follow. And so I see you wishing. You're maybe in the first stages of kind of beginning to even think about what might be next. But how do I get there? What am I willing to do? What makes sense for me? And I see that coming. I see all of this kind of coming together right now. Now, we also have a snake, a coiled snake. So there is somebody who is kind of maybe a naysayer or a gossip. Maybe they are somebody that you cannot trust. And I feel like this is somebody you know in your personal life. And this is so out there, but the first thing that I thought was it might be somebody who you are going to have like house sit for you or watch your animals. Not your children, but animals. Like feeding the dog or walking the cat or vice versa. But I almost feel like you need to check up on this person. There's something weird about them. They have not like villain energy, but there's just a sense of somebody who, like an opportunist, but like in a really, really crude kind of way. And so, be careful with that. Be mindful. If you have somebody who's coming into your home while you're not there and dealing with your house, your things, your animals, house sitting, walking animal, whatever, okay? Make sure that you're checking up. Now, we have this giant phallic thing right here. So creativity, that is the vital energies, the wand, right? The fire, the thing that lights the kundalini right up, right? And so I feel like this is kind of a time where you are moving towards really, I feel like expressing yourself more and more. Maybe you have to find new people, friends. Maybe it is about sitting down and having some real conversations with the people who are close to you. And not, these kinds of talks, it's really important when we have them that we don't blame other people for like, why have I not been calling you? And it might be something like we were talking about, you've been doing well. They're not doing as well as you. And you don't know, it's not necessarily that their life is worse than yours or that you even think that they envy you or they're jealous. You just don't know how to talk about your accomplishments. You don't know how to talk about the fortune that you have found yourself in. And maybe feel almost kind of like, well, the world is a mess and people are suffering and even people in my own family are not doing well. And who am I to come around, gloating or talking about all this stuff when other people are having such troubles? But here's the thing. When we have people in our life who we love and they love us, they want to see us doing well. And they don't usually mind as long as you're not being rude about it, right? They don't mind when good things happen. Especially because this is something that you've been working so hard for. It's not like again, like I said, you like all of a sudden inherit like $1 million and you haven't ever even met this uncle or whoever it is, like kind of that old story of like some long lost family member leaves you like a huge estate and all this money and stuff. No, I don't think that. I don't know. Maybe that does happen to people. I don't know. Never happened to me. So I don't necessarily believe it. But yeah, they are there for you. And I feel that. And I feel like you will be surprised when you have the ability to kind of maybe even sit down and like do the little points of conversation, organize your thoughts about how you're going to communicate about this, you know. But also you're a Taurus, so listen, I feel like your whole deal is just kind of showing up like nothing has changed and getting back to normal, and not ever really speaking on what what happened here for the last 6 months or whatever, you know, because that's just kind of, you guys are cool like that, and you have the ability to kind of just seamlessly just kind of get into the situation, right? I'm almost thinking like, what's that dude's name from Happy Days, the Fonz? That dude had to have been a Taurus for sure. I could see like a Taurus person like just going off for like a year, 6 months, making heck of money, right? Just getting your business together, getting everything right in your life. Haven't talked to anybody besides hopefully your mom. Always make sure that you call your mom. And then just showing up at like a family, like, you know, Thanksgiving or whatever you might celebrate, and acting like nothing happened. And everybody's just cool with it, you know? Yeah. Very few signs could pull it off, but you, Taurus, are one of them for sure. Now, we have a person standing here looking down. And there seems to be this repeated kind of looking down, but not in a way that feels, you know, like sad or kind of like lamenting or anything like that. But I feel like it is kind of a sense of being in the moment, noticing the details around you. You know, if you're in the northern hemisphere, you maybe have fall leaves all over the ground, and you might be taking a walk and you're looking down and you're looking at all the variety of colors and how they're deteriorating and breaking down and clogging all of the all of the storm drains. That's life right now over here. And just really engaged in the now, which isn't always easy for a Taurus. You're always looking ahead. You don't like to look back too often. When you do, you're very, I feel like often realistic about things. You're not as sentimental as, you know, some of us, at least like not getting blinded by sentimentality. I think you have a pretty clear view, but you like to look forward. You like to think about the things that you can do, you will do, your achievements, and the things that you'd like to continue to work towards achieving. But when you can get into this moment, into this present moment, your power is off the charts. You cannot be stopped. You are very intelligent, creative, innovative. You look at the world through a whole different paradigm than most people, and your vision is unique. So I do see in this next time kind of maybe almost, if you could think about like going out into the world, gathering inspiration for your next big idea. And I think that that's what this is about. It's also about grounding, I think. I feel like there's really this call for you to spend more energy or time, right, figuring out how to bring yourself into that center place. Especially because we have so much water you know, the emotions are running high. And it might be, yeah, this is a victory. This is wonderful. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. But, you know, that is so much tied into the other side as well. And, you know, those high highs sometimes lead to really low lows. And so finding that middle way, that center, that grounding, that balance, okay? I think that's a really important theme in your life right now, okay? All right. So let's do a couple of lucky, actually, let's do 3 lucky numbers. 3 lucky numbers. 59, 21, 64. 64. All right. And then we're just going to end with our Mary Magdalene Oracle cards. Okay. And I'm just going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. We have Witness. I am fully seen. I am fully seen. All right. Well. Taurus, I want to tell you I love you and I thank you for spending this time with me. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribed. I always feel like I say that all weird. If you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. Also, if you want to like the video, it helps the channel. And if you want to leave a comment, definitely do that. I read all of them. They mean a lot to me. And yeah, other than that, I think I'm just gonna wrap it up here. And yeah, we'll talk in a few days. All right, Taurus, I love you, I love you, I love you. Good night.